Hi, my name is John Peña. I'm a real estate agent in El Paso, Texas with eXp Realty, and we are kind of wrapping up our relocating buyer experience video series here. This is not only for relocating buyers, but even local buyers here in El Paso. And I'm saying wrapping up, but I suspect that some more questions might come up, and we'll probably add on to this 6-part series, and it'll become a 7, 8, 9-part series. But for right now, this is the last one. So we've taken you all the way through the process of finding a lender, getting pre-approved, understanding how agents get paid, finding and searching homes, whether it's on the Flex MLS portal or Zillow or what have you, submitting offers and getting an accepted offer is what we talked about last time. And so for this final one, we are essentially in escrow, meaning that we have an accepted offer on a home. We've already paid our earnest money. We've already paid our option money. We've already had the inspection. We've negotiated repairs or price alterations, and we've decided that, we're good with the deal and we're moving forward. So let's say that it's going to take, that you're using a home loan and it's going to take about 45 days. Okay. So let's say that we're into around, let's say like day 15, more or less. Things have slowed down, all right? All of the craziness and the negotiating and the inspection, the rush to do earnest and option, all of that has kind of subsided, and now we're just kind of into a flow here. Now these other third-party vendors, title company, your lender, now they're doing the paperwork, they're doing what they need to do. So there's a couple of things they're doing though that are very important that I wanted to speak about. One thing is the role of the title company. A title company essentially facilitates the transfer of property from one person to another person, okay? In the state of Texas, you're not going to actually get the actual title, the piece of paper that says you own the home, like with a car, right? You have a title, and when you go to sell that car, you sign it, the person who's buying it, they sign it, and that's how you transfer ownership of it. In Texas, the title companies actually hold those titles for homeowners, okay? But they also do all of the legwork, all of the paperwork, and one thing that they do is they provide you with title insurance, okay? The seller is going to pay for a title insurance policy in most cases for you, the buyer. And the reason that this is important is because let's say that there was a home built in 1950 and now it's 2021 and you want to buy that home. Since 1950, that home has probably changed hands a number of times. The different owners of that home maybe have refinanced the home, maybe they've taken out home equity, lines of credit on the home, maybe the home has transferred, maybe somebody passed away and then a family member inherited the home. So the home has changed title a lot of times, and different liens have been placed on that title, right? A title insurance policy ensures you that you are going to get this home free and clear, right? So you're going to get the home, and you're not going to all of a sudden a couple months later after you close on the home, start getting somebody's old home equity line of credit bill, right? Because this line of credit on the home was never paid off, and now you own the home, and now you also inherit and own this line of credit or something that was on it. Title insurance is responsible for making sure that you get this home free and clear. There's no liens on it, whether they're financial liens from banks, tax liens, maybe the person 30 years ago, somebody didn't pay their taxes on the home and there's this backlog of taxes and you're not going to inherit that, right? You don't want that. So title insurance ensures you that you're getting a home free and clear. Now, in the process of one of the first things that the title company is going to do is they're going to send us a title commitment. And this is going to essentially give us kind of, it's like the title company saying, hey, this is what we found, this is a history of the home and the title, and these are some of the things that the current owner has. Maybe the current owner is paying child support or alimony or something, and that's tied to the property. those things are going to show up on the title commitment, and the title commitment is simply the title company giving you kind of a document saying, hey, look, these are the things that we found attached to the home. We're going to take care of these. And if the title company can't clear those debts at the time typically of the sale, so let's say that there's a lien on the home. The current homeowner has a $5,000 lien on the home, right? At the time of closing, the profits from the sale of the home, that $5,000 are going to go to pay off that lien, because you do not want to inherit, somebody else's tax lien or somebody else's child support or any of that. So the title commitment is kind of the first step in the title company saying, hey, we found this, and this. Don't worry, we're going to take care of it, because if the title company can't clear those financial obligations, they're not going to give the clear to close. They're not going to let you purchase a home if it isn't free and clear, okay? So sometimes I get people that they look at the title commitment and they're like, oh my gosh, there's all these different things that the current homeowner has tied. He has this line of credit for $12,000 that's outstanding. Like, am I going to inherit that? No, you are not. And that is exactly why you want a title company, and you want that title insurance policy to guarantee you that, when you get the home, when it gets transferred into your ownership, you're getting it free and clear. You are not taking on anybody else's obligations or debts. So that's really important. The next thing that's going to happen, let's say that now we've gotten that and title company's working on that, where everything's cool. Now, as soon as our termination option period ends and we know that you're going to move forward with the purchase of the home, I'm going to reach out to your lender and I'm going to say, hey, this thing is a go. We're doing this. Let's order the appraisal, okay? Now the lender will ask you for your permission to order the appraisal. You will be the one, by the way, paying for the appraisal. Currently it's about $500, and that's one of those closing costs that we talked about earlier. And here's where that 30 to 45 day close can turn into like 40 to 55 days, because appraisers are really backed up right now. But here's what an appraisal is. Let's stay with our last example. Let's say that you're buying a home for $300,000, okay? And let's say that you're putting $25,000 down of your own money, okay? And you're asking your lender to give you a loan for $275,000. Now, the lender, could be a bank or whatever financial institution that's lending you this money, the lender is going to do an appraisal. They're going to hire an appraiser. An appraiser is somebody who, again, is a third party who is licensed in the state of Texas to assess the value of property, okay? So this appraiser is going to go out to the home, okay? Hopefully, I have some horror stories about appraisers that have done appraisals on homes here in El Paso, like from Michigan, and this is another reason to go with a local lender, okay? Because a local lender will push for a local appraiser who's knowledgeable about the El Paso market and who actually goes to the home. Because if an appraiser doesn't actually go to the home, then they have no idea of what the condition of the home is. So how can they appraise the value of a home if they never step foot in the home? And like I said, it happens. So, but the appraiser is going to essentially, he's going to go to the home to check on the condition, see what does it have a pool? Does it have granite countertops? Does it have this? Does it have that? Right? Is electric updated? The appraiser is also going to look at the surrounding homes and see what they've sold for and make sure that the values that other homes in the area that have sold recently that are comparable to your home as far as square footage, number of bedrooms, year build, lot size, all of that. The appraiser is going to collect all of that data, and they're going to come up with a value of the home, okay? Now, if the appraiser comes back to the lender and says, okay, I went out to the home and the home, in my estimation, is worth $275,000, great, okay? Because that's the amount that the lender is going to give you a loan for, okay? And, all is going to be well, ideally. Now, If the appraiser comes back to the lender and says, hey, I did the appraisal and the home is worth $250,000. Well, now we've got a problem because the lender is gonna, full stop, because the lender does not want to give you $275,000 for an asset that is worth $250,000, right? That's not how lenders work, right? It's too risky for them. They could lose money if you default on the loan, and then they're stuck with this home, and they've given you $275,000, but it's only worth $250,000, right? So lenders, banks, they are not in the positions of losing money. So should this happen, there's a couple different ways that this could play out. Me as your real estate agent, I'm immediately going to go to that seller and be like, hey, the appraisal came back at $250,000. I'm going to write out an amendment saying, hey, okay, we're changing our offer price, from $300,000 to $275,000. My client is still going to put down $25,000, which means the lender only has to finance $250,000. Okay. In an ideal world, the seller says, okay, I guess we overpriced it. Sure. Now, it's not always in an ideal world, because the seller might be like, hey, wait a minute, you told me you were going to pay me $300,000 and now you want to pay me $275,000? Like, no thanks. See you later, right? Maybe they go off and they take their chances, because if they could find a cash buyer doesn't even have to do an appraisal. So a cash buyer could just pay them the $300,000 cash, and then, the seller's happy. So sometimes, if, let's say you, the buyer, let's say you really, really love this home and you just have to have it, and you've got an extra $25,000 sitting in the bank, you could be like, hey, you know what? Fine, I'm going to put down $50,000. Okay, I'm still going to pay you $300,000. I'm going to put down $50,000, and now I'm only going to ask the bank to finance $250,000, and then the bank will say, all right, fair enough, Or you could try to split the difference, or negotiate that out. But the appraisal is a pretty important part, and like I said, it's just something that I wanted you to know about. So chances are, if you're doing a home loan, the appraisal is going to be something that we're going to be waiting for, because it's one of the last things to happen. And it's one of those things where if it goes well, then typically it doesn't take that long afterwards to get to the close. If it doesn't go well, then we all have to kind of step back and try to see if we can't save the transaction and negotiate something to still make it work. So for right now, that's pretty much it. That's kind of how the home buying process works in the state of Texas. I'm sure I've left some things out. If you have any questions, by all means, leave them in the comments. But even better, quite honestly, because this is pretty serious stuff, especially if you're in the midst of buying a home. Just reach out to me via email and ask me the questions so that I can immediately give you the feedback and the information that you need. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. And if you are a relocating buyer, hopefully this has educated you and informed you kind of on what the home buying process does look like in the state of Texas. If you're a local buyer, I hope that you found this information useful as well, and has hopefully given you the idea that being represented by a real estate agent is in your best interest, right? So should you need a competent and knowledgeable real estate agent, by all means, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. And with that, thank you so much. Have a great day.